Olivia Cuito is an official skincare partner of Miss USA.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Hi, Kuya Ed!
Meow.
Oh my God! Where have you been?
Where
Did
have
you
you
go back
been?
to Vegas?
Ha?
Did you
Kanina
go
pa
back
ako
to
dito eh.
Vegas?
Vegas, mukha kang Vegas to.
Mukha bang... Nasaan na yung mga pictures mo dyan?
Ayan. Ba? Kinlose up pa talaga.
Ayan.
Yan.
Oo, lahat kayo kasi tignan mo nasa side ka. Mag-center ka muna.
Ano mag-center? Andito yung big screen ko eh. Pag dito ako,
Nawawala yung nawawala yung beauty mo. Yan. Yeah, so everybody, good evening. It's Thursday night. It's another Who is Socal? And this time around, we have photographers. So we have the finest and award-winning photographers in Socal. Right,
Wow.
Kuya Ed?
Award winners, ha? Parang,
Yeah, we really have a lot of award winners in our show tonight.
okay.
Yeah.
HDR yun, ano? Isang shot na yun. Sakto agad, ano? Oh, di ba? High
May
definition.
tawag doon. Hindi yun HDR.
Di ba sa cellphone, pag isang shot mo lang, dami, oh.
And before I forget, so if you're watching live, #live, and if you're watching the replay, #replay. And if you're excited to meet our photographers, #photographers.
And tonight,
yeah, we have something special going on tonight, but I can't tell you yet. So watch out for that one. And of course, since we're in the Who is Socal interview panel show, we have raffles. Of course, we have raffles for everybody. And our photographers, some of them are giving away portrait sessions for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you excited, Kuya Ed?
Maybe.
Maybe. Hindi ko sigurado. Ako, excited talaga ako.
Lagi ka naman excited.
Yeah, syempre, di ba? Well, I'm really, I'm excited because we're going to talk about one of the topics I like talking about because, I like taking pictures and I'm also a photographer myself and I'm also an artist. So, it's one topic that I like to talk about. So we're going to get to know our photographers in Socal tonight. Are you ready, Kuya Ed? And before anything, of course, we have to thank our sponsor. So Miss Olivia Cuito Co. of O Skincare and Nedspa, and we have Formula M Creatives Inc., and of course, all of our photographers, and who are gracious enough to raffle off their portrait sessions for tonight. So thank you so much. Meron kang announcement, Kuya?
Hindi kompleto eh. Nasa si Kuya Arvin.
Nasa backstage, syempre. Pero meron tayong ano,
Backstage
magpa-sound effect ka naman dyan, Arvin.
Alam ko naman. Ano yan? Kaya, big Diaz presents yan.
Yan. So our first guest, oh my goodness. Ayan. Yan, di ba?
Parang laki.
So our first guest, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I've seen his pictures and I know like the destinations that he goes to, and it's really, I mean, like whenever I look at his pictures, I get so jealous because I want to go to all of those places that he goes to. Our first guest is Mike Federis. He's a wedding and event photographer based out of Riverside, California. So you can just imagine all of the places that he goes to over there on that side of Socal. And he appreciates the outdoors and takes his clients to far-flung destinations for their engagement or elopement portraits. And he also has a YouTube channel where he shares his journeys and adventures in photography and in travel. Are you guys ready? Hashtag Mike.
Hashtag.
M-I-K-E. Hashtag Mike.
Tanan.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
Hey, Meg, I'm doing well, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started with photography and what type of photography do you do?
Sure. So I guess I got to take it all the way back when I was in the military. So I was a former Marine, and I got a chance to.
Wow, devil dog.
Yes, sir. Hoorah. So I got the chance to travel pretty much all over the place. I stationed in Japan, Korea, and I took trips a lot to like went to Cambodia, Vietnam, so Philippines. So for me, it all started there because I was like, man, I got to capture these places where I go. So I bought me a camera. At the time, I didn't really know how to use it at the time. So, but I just loved taking photos of my travels. And so ever since then, I just started taking photos everywhere I go. And then eventually, when I came back, I got out of the military. I started getting really into the outdoors and hiking and camping. And that's when I really kind of just really took it to the next level. I started doing landscape photography and things like that. But I think in terms of wedding photography and how I got into it, it was about 4 years ago. My cousin asked me to do her wedding, which was like, I've been in a lot of weddings, but never really photographed a wedding. So it was a bit of a shock, right? Because I mean, it's a daunting event, and I've never done one, but fortunately, it wasn't like a super big event, and it was like the wedding anniversary. But ever since then, I got hooked, hook, line, and sinker, and just never stopped from there. So that's kind of how I kind of started. It was about a few years ago.
That is so awesome. So I'm really excited to hear more about how you got into it and what your challenges are and how you pivoted from, the pandemic. We're still in lockdown, but we're still slowly opening up, right?
Of course.
And I'm just as excited to introduce our next guests. Yes, and guests with an S, because there are two of them. And their names both start with an A. So AJ and Aiyency Danas or Danas of Lux and Lace Studios. And so they recently started their boudoir sessions. And I know a lot of people are really excited. I've seen their work as well. And we've had them on our show before. And they're a husband and wife photography team who specializes in helping women gain self-confidence and body positivity. So let's all welcome AJ and Aiyency.
Woohoo!
Hi, Aiyency. Hi, AJ.
Hello, Mick.
Thank you
How are you guys doing?
Oh, good.
Good,
Thank
good.
you.
So the first time I met you guys had a different name, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about what went into rebranding your boudoir company?
Yeah, for sure. So for those who don't know, before we were named Danish Creatives Boudoir, for our rebranding, we kind of thought that it didn't really match what we were trying to sell or trying to advertise as far as what we wanted to do as far as photography goes. So we thought we change our business around a little bit and make it more appealing to the clientele that we were looking for. So we came up with the Lux and Lace Studios.
Yes. Plus, it's not necessarily all boudoir. We also do other forms of photography as well, like portraits, couple sessions, and stuff.
That is so cool. And that is such a nice name, because it's Lux and Lace, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it already sounds so luxurious.
Yeah, luxurious.
And glamorous.
Sexy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely catchy. And I know you guys like your website and yes.
No, sorry. We were actually going back and forth with it, just saying different words together to see what would like sound pretty good, and just Lux and Lace just kind of just stuck with us.
Yeah, well, like when we heard it, okay, that's it.
That is so awesome. And yeah, so just as Lux and Lace is more about like feeling positive about yourself, right? And having self-confidence. And our next guest, oh my gosh, he definitely has a lot of confidence to go into so many places that a lot of us haven't been to. And when I talk about places, they're really like on stage, backstage, and all these concert venues. And so our next guest is Joe Calixto, and he's actually born in Cebu City, Philippines. He got into photography because of the two things that he loves, like music and skateboarding. So you guys kind of have an idea of where we're going just by me mentioning music and skateboarding. And since moving to the US, he's made his way all around the country photographing shows, from funk basements to the biggest arenas. And recently he's put out some photo zines of his photographs, and he's been published in publications such as New Noise Magazine, Alternative Press, Cosmopolitan, Maximum Rock and Roll. So let's all welcome Joe Calixto. So hashtag Joe, everybody.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Hi, Joe.
Back is you.
Back is you.
It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
we're
New
always
Year, man.
excited to have Joe, right?
I don't
But
have a
this time
guitar.
around, yeah, he's a photographer. He's not the musician that we know, right?
No. Yayain ko naman mag-jamming ngayon eh.
Yeah, mag-jamming sana tayo. Yung tagos sa
Gitara po
puso.
yan.
Anong tawag doon? Ayan, nakaset up na si Kuya. Oh, tingnan mo.
Lagi naman ako nakaset up eh.
Pero may kumot yung keyboards.
Siyempre, baka maalikap ko. Dalawa.
Yeah.
Maalikap ko eh.
So can you tell us how you got into photographing concerts? So I'm really curious, like how do you get into that kind of photography? Like there are not a lot of people who can do that stuff.
How I got into it is because obviously I play music, so just the environment, I guess, of what's around me. But yeah, I started photography because of skateboarding. I was the kid who had a camera, and then it was like a 2 megapixel digital camera. Wow, 2 megapixels, that's crazy. And then just things picked up from there. And then as for like shooting concerts here, when I started, I had to sneak into shows with my camera. You know how they don't let you bring your camera in shows, but I had to sneak. I've done so many ways to sneak in my camera, and then one thing led to another. Now I work for a publication that we have our own publicist who handles concert requests, or their publicist.
That is so awesome. Yeah, I want to hear more about that. But before we talk more about that, I want to introduce to you guys my classmate and batchmate from my old school. Yeah, her name is Michelle Ford, and we have the same name. And until recently, Michelle was the main wedding photographer for Nice Prince Philippines US team. And since then, she has retired from wedding photography to focus on her love or the journalistic style, and chasing light and capturing the joys and simplicity of relationships and people. So she's really focusing on portraiture nowadays, and she's also based in Socal. So everybody, hashtag Michelle.
Yay!
Hi, how are you
Hi.
doing?
Good. You guys can
It's
hear me?
great to see you. Yeah.
So
You
crazy. I
look
haven't seen
really
you in
good.
forever. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you must be surprised. Like, I'm doing all these things. You're just like, what? Where? What?
I know. You said come, and I said okay. I had no idea where.
Yeah, you're like, surprise. Yeah, so everybody, to everyone who's watching, I know I invited a lot of people from AC. So yeah, like, we have Michelle on the show. love. We have love on the show.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes.
I also I also invited Jason and all of them, like, from Coco Gallery.
Oh my gosh.
Surprise. Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit how you started? Although I know a little bit, but yeah, just tell everybody how you started and how you got into photography.
Yeah, mine was by accident. I was already working in IT by then in the office, and our admin was getting married. She happened to find out that I just bought my first camera, like a Costco camera. You know, it wasn't a point and shoot, it was actually a DSLR. And she goes, "Hey, I heard you got a big girl camera. Can you take my engagement photos?" And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So I took the pictures. She loved them. I had fun that day. And then she goes, I want you to take my wedding photos. And then I hit the brakes. No way. Like, who does that? I'll go hire a professional. I'll go learn how to do it, though, because it was fun. And that's how it began.
That is so awesome. And like, you fell in love with it, just like everybody, how, like, just like how everyone kind of fell into it, like, accidentally, right? Like, from what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah.
That is
It was
so
just like one
awesome.
foot in front of the other after that, right? I think that's what happens. Before you know it, you're already running.
That is so awesome. I remember my first wedding. It was in Mendocino. It was that far.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like my, like, actually, no, like, that was like my first big, like, full on wedding. The first one was just in the garden. But yeah. So more about weddings and elopements and engagements, because our next guest is Mr. Leo Evidente. So it's really evident from just from his name alone, right? That he is, one of the finest Socal Phil-Am photographers around. He and his wife, Kat, co-founded The Gathering Season. It's a wedding and life photography studio based in Los Angeles. And he believes that finding a deeper connection with his clients is the not-so-secret ingredient to what everyone loves doing, which is photography. So let's all welcome Leo Evidente.
Tanan!
And hi, Leo. How are you doing?
Hi guys, how's it going?
Evidente. Are you related to Ed, the
Hindi
bass
po,
player?
hindi po siya.
Don't tell me that's your dad.
Hindi po.
Hindi.
Because
Papel.
Kuya Ed knows everybody, as
Ah.
in everybody related to our guests.
He might be an
Wow.
Evidente.
Yeah.
Kuya
Yeah.
got all the connections.
Yeah, he is well connected.
Especially this group. I like this group because you're gonna give me a gig. All these photographers. Huh?
Yeah, because
Right.
Kuya Ed is actually a DJ one-man band who does weddings
Wow.
and like all kinds of
Weddings.
events. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of
All
connection.
kinds of, even for funerals. All of the above.
Hey, why not? That's documentation.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started in photography?
Okay. So, my ex-girlfriend, not my
Mhm.
wife, we got married, so she's not my wife. We got married back in 2017. So she was like planning the wedding for the most part, and she asked me, who do I want to be our photographer for a wedding? And I was like, wait, why do we need that? And what are they gonna do for that? And yeah, they're gonna take our photos, like, storytelling, whatnot. And so that was like a light bulb moment for me. It's like, oh yes, you can do that. Because before that, I already loved, all forms of art. I drew, I paint, I'm into interior design and architecture and just, movies and visual storytelling in general. So that was like one thing, economically speaking, that kind of makes sense, that at the same time, I would love to do what I was gonna start doing. So that was then 2010 when we first shot our wedding. It was a Christmas day. And there was nobody at the courthouse in Santa Barbara, so it was like a 6-hour gig. And at the time, I was like, okay, let's just try it, see how it goes. And since then, we just never looked back and just kept doing it.
That is so cool. So everyone kind of like fell into it, right? I mean, I'm wondering if someone actually sought out to do photography, like from one of our guests, but we will find out. And I know like Madeline, our next guest, is someone who has gone to so many conferences, and she's been awarded several awards from all these conferences that she's been to. And she's actually a Norwalk-based portrait photographer whose specialty is newborn photography. And she's also a portrait artist, and she's also a visual artist herself. And a lot of her clients are actually like not from her area. So she travels a lot too. But she is actually an award-winning photographer who has won 7 silver awards at WPPI, and she's also ranked as the 34th out of 711 U.S. photographers by the WPE Awards. So let's all welcome Madeline.
Yay!
Hi, Nick. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for the
Hi,
introduction.
Madeline. So we finally get to have you on our show, but there's something that Madeline does on the side that everyone, like a lot of people, are really amazed at and are really proud to proud that she's actually doing these things. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But can you tell us how you got started in photography?
Oh, I started 2008 is the year of the recession. So I'm an e-commerce web development firm.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, let's pull her out a little. So we'll go to our next guest while we're waiting for Madeline. And so our next guest is also award-winning. Oh my goodness. So Adrian Ong, the owner of Let's Make a Memory, is a published and award-winning destination photographer, and his work can be seen on Ceremony Magazine, Modern Weddings, The Knot, Glittery Bride, and more. And he has traveled to Paris, Manila, New York, Portland, and Las Vegas to do memorable pre-wedding engagement sessions. And he is also featured on 2 of SLR Lounge's top charts in the top 20 inspiring winter portraits on SLR Lounge, and top 21 of 2016's best images on SLR Lounge. Let's all welcome Adrian Ong. Hi, Adrian.
No audio.
Is your audio on? Yeah, like we can't hear you.
No audio.
Yeah, we're having quite the technical difficulties tonight. Yeah, so are you excited, Kuya Ed?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Bring
Can
in
you hear me
all of
now?
our guests.
There.
Yes,
I can hear you
yes,
now.
yes.
That's good. That's
Hello?
good. Yes,
Yeah,
we're live. There.
I think we're losing
Can you
it.
hear me
Are you
now?
okay? Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Now you can hear us.
Huh.
We can hear you there. I hear the
Hello?
background. Yes. Can you hear us? Hello?
Hello?
There. Oh, but it's
Okay. Can you hear
echoing.
Yes, we
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Good. I don't know what happened. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started in photography?
yeah. So, well, I started photography based on my dad's influence. So, back when I was 9 years old, he took me to Taiwan and he kind of showed me, his camera and how to work on it. And so eventually, fast forward to today, like, oh no, in 2002, so I basically started my business. At first it was more into like performing type of thing, and then eventually when I kind of got into like an accident thing where I was asked to do an event, and so that's where kind of everything started. Um, and then in 2014, I attended my first workshop with Scott Robert Lim, and he was the one who kind of showed me the ropes on how to become a better photographer.
Yeah, and so we have someone here who says Adrian did her daughter's debut pictorial party.
Oh,
Yeah,
uh,
It's
I don't see
Abigail.
the chat, but who is
yeah,
it?
it's Abigail
Oh,
Castillo.
Abigail.
Yeah,
Yes. One of
Yeah.
Dane's debut back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, or
Hmm.
17. Yeah, it was a great debut party.
yeah. So we're gonna talk about all of our guests' favorite locations, destinations, and like memorable experiences. Let's go back to Madeline. Hi, Madeline.
Hi, sorry about that earlier. Disconnected.
I think we have you now. Yeah. So tell us something a little bit about yourself and how you started.
So I started year 2008 is the year of the recession. So I was an e-commerce web development business and everything was shut down. So the only asset I had was my camera. So I started shooting for portfolio, posted on a Craigslist, and one thing you know, I've been booking week by week, and that's how I started with the portrait photography.
And so were you when you were doing that, did you have any kind of background prior to, like did you go to school for photography or anything like that?
No, I didn't go to any school, so I studied. By uh, checking all the magazines, YouTubes, and watching Sandy Potch is one of my mentor before, and then Jerry Gonis as well. So and
Hmm.
from there, I'm started doing photo conference in WPI.
That is so awesome. And so let's call in everyone and find out what makes photography like their thing to do, right? Yeah, so we'll call in Joe, Michelle, Mike, Leo, Adrian.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I think we got everybody. Yeah, there you go. We're full house.
Party peeps. Kuya Arvin, put on the music, man.
Yeah, we need some sound effects.
Yeah, where's Kuya Arvin? chika on the site, on the stream.
Yeah, like I see his
Yun.
comments. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, now he's alive.
So, hi everyone. So this is our whole entire panel. Oh my gosh. So we have 7 photographers from Socal. And so yeah, before we ask all of these like really fun questions, who were your biggest influences? Like who and what really got you started? Like was there like a defining moment, or like was there like a cathartic moment, or some, you know, like influential person that just made you say, hey, I want to be like that, like I'm gonna start? Adrian, let's start with Adrian.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, my high school buddy, Jervy Santiago, he's a famous photographer in the Philippines. He was really the one that you know, kind of influenced me in what I do today. So apart from being you know, the person who really pushed me to do what I do right now. Of course, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be where I am right now without Scott Robert Lim. So he's my mentor, and he was the one who really gave me the push to become a better photographer.
Madeline?
Oh, mine's Ann Geddes. I personally met her 2 years ago in New York, so I was very fortunate to be with her on that time. I also love Jerry Gonis, one of the top 5 wedding photographer in the world. I learned so much about him. I mean, all the techniques that he taught. So every year I get to see him in WPI too.
AJ, Aiyency?
Actually, I kind of have 2. It's my wife is actually one of them. You know, because that's what I bought a camera for at first, to take pictures of her. You know, and then she kind of encouraged me to just, you know, kind of make it a business because she saw I love doing it. As far as boudoir goes, it's an award-winning photographer, Michael Sasser, is one that I've always followed ever since I started boudoir. You know, I love his work, and I kind of use it as inspiration to, you know, keep going with what I'm doing.
And that is so awesome how, you know, it's a husband and wife team, and your wife is really supportive of boudoir, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
you're a
so
stylist as well.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Aiyency?
Basically, I style the clients and the models, and then he takes the photos. So mostly that's how we
Operate.
operate.
That is so awesome. And so Michelle, can you tell us, you know, was there like one person that inspired you, or one cathartic moment that made you want to start in photography?
Seriously, I feel like everything was an accident. Even as I started to move into it, I happened to fall in line with a bunch of cool photographers at that time. And Jasmine Star in particular, that was when she was doing photography. I partnered with her to run the Smug Mug group, so I got to meet a lot of people, and I was self-teaching. But to riff off of Adrian, I met Scott Robert Lim, who actually also taught me about lighting, and that was the beginning, I think, of the next level for me.
That is so cool. And so Mike, can you tell us, you know, if there's a one person or cathartic moment that made you want to start? Oops.
Oh, am
There
I
you
back
go.
on? Okay, there
Yeah.
wasn't really one specific person or group, but I have to mention I'm a huge fan of Michelle Ford. I used to watch her videos on YouTube. I learned a lot from like the Flash video. So you're awesome. So I just have to mention that. But that was probably years ago. But one of my ultimate inspirations is definitely Ansel Adams. I love camping and hiking. So if you ever seen his photos from Yosemite, it's just absolutely amazing. So that even though it's not, you know, wedding related, it still inspires me to continue to be creative and push myself, to create new art.
That is so cool. And I can definitely see some of that inspiration in your pictures, because you go out there and take pictures of like all these amazing landscapes, right? Like all these amazing places that, like a lot of us wouldn't be able to go to.
Yeah, I love hiking, so I actually have another client that wants to hike Mount Baldy, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Is that like an elopement or an engagement photo shoot?
An engagement session, yeah. So
Oh
they're
my
down to hike,
goodness.
which I'm down to hike, so I'm super excited.
That is so awesome. So Leo, can you tell us a little bit about how you started, and if there's one person or one cathartic moment that made you want to start with photography?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that there's that one particular moment. But I think one person would be my wife, Kat. That was when I got out of the Navy back in 2010. I had some time to figure out what I wanted to do personally, and at that time she was at that particular point. So we're like, hey, why not? Like what I mentioned earlier, but why not do wedding photography? Um, and I really felt that it was something that she wanted to do with me, and it was like a perfect chance for me to like do life with her and just work with her, and go from there together. And that was like one thing that we always like applying wedding photography.
That is so cool. And Joe?
What's up? I got disconnected like 5 times.
I know.
I got kicked out before anything.
You're doing the disappearing act on us, like
I
some
don't
magic
know.
over there.
Technology, I'm telling you.
Yeah. So was there any one person or one cathartic moment or like one person that influenced you to start photography?
Um, yeah, I think I would say I'd say my cousin. So I had a cousin who was in the Australian Royal Army, and he traveled a lot and showed me like the very first like DSLR I've ever seen in my life, and it was like 8 megapixels. It was terrible, but but it was great. It was yeah, he showed me like a couple of things, and then I've always had a thing with cameras, like what I said, like skateboarding got me started with it, and I've always had a camera, so seeing him like take pictures and like like certain techniques and stuff like that just got me pumped. So one thing led to another.
And so since we're already talking to you, can you tell us a little bit about your creative process and how you go about creating your projects? Because I know you have your personal projects as well, right? You take pictures, portraits of people, and
Hmm.
you produce magazines, photo
Yeah.
zines, right?
Yeah.
And so aside from like taking pictures at concerts, like what is your creative process like when you're trying to create something?
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, like it's also kind of like how songwriting or like screenplay writing is. It's like it starts off with an idea, and then like last year, so I did this photo series of me taking portraits of people throughout 2020, and just asking them like like if 2020 was a person, what would you tell them? And it's kind of like I thought about it a lot. Where it's like it's almost like a yearbook, but like 2020 is such a year where it's like affected a lot of people. Where it's like even in 10 years, it would still matter. So it's kind of, but yeah, it's just like I'll think sometimes like some of these zines I make is just out of nowhere. Like some of them don't even have like a straight idea. It's just pictures put together. Like growing up in the punk hardcore scene, it's like that's what we do. It's a whole mess.
That is so awesome because I've personally seen you do your stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like when
I did it in your backyard.
when you take pictures of people, we're like, who are these people? But yeah, that is so awesome. Like how you're able to capture like emotions of like different kinds of people, and be able to put them in a book, right?
Yeah,
And so
I love print media. So like until today, like you know how like the digital age and all that stuff, but I love print media. Like that's my shit.
that is so cool. And so, Adrian, let's go to Adrian. I'm trying to do it like clockwise on my screen.
Mute. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. What was that question? I'm sorry.
Describe your creative process and what do you do when you want to create something, or let's say because you do weddings and engagements and elopements. How do you come up with all these ideas for pictures? Like, is it like in place, like in situ, like whatever is available, that's what you do? Or I know like some people bring in a lot of lighting and props and whatnot. What's your process like?
So my process is always working with the clients. Essentially, we try to have them create a mood board based on what they see on a Pinterest and what they see on a website. So most important thing is, of course, trying to, I wouldn't say emulate, but use the mood boards that they create as an inspiration for my work. So whatever I see on their mood board, I don't try to recreate it, but I make it as to what I could, deliver to them, right? It's not something that I want to say like I copied somebody's work. And then of course I put, my twist into it, such as lighting, whenever we need to do more lighting because, for some reason it's a sunset shot. I want to be able to see the ocean, right, and the sky. I don't want to be like blown out. So I make sure that I give that also a different. So I do one shot where there's no light, and then I also give them a shot where I use a light. So typically that's how I work. I work with the client, and I always wanted their input. But essentially, it's my style. I need to also input my style into their mood board as well.
And do any of our wedding, or engagement, or elopement photographers want to add to that?
Hey, I'm kind of on the same page as Adrian. I always try to collaborate with what the goals of the shoot is, especially if it's a wedding or a elopement or an engagement. I always, try to communicate with my client on kind of what they're looking for. Of course, I always throw in my style because that's just my vibe and my style. But for me, sometimes if I'm at a location and I just see something, I'll do it. It's just if I think I can pull it off and it looks good, it just sometimes I'm spontaneous like that and I just go for it. So it just depends on the environment and the lighting and things like that.
I'm probably the most different. The last 5 or 6 years when I shot for Nice Print, it's a little unusual, you guys. I never met the couples beforehand. In fact, they'd be lucky if I met them the day of the wedding. It's one of those. Or maybe we exchanged an email here or there, and I had to shoot solo, so I had to do everything myself. Really didn't have time for mood boards or any of that jazz. I literally winged it for 6 years.
Wow.
And then we're so inundated and surrounded by other people's art in all facets and in all manner. Like even Joe's concert art could inspire me. Something about the color, something about the light, or gestures, or like Madeline's baby shot. Sometimes there's just that one thing that you're looking for, and it's, can you take that with you when you go to your next shoot, and can you look for something that replicates that moment, that emotion, that whatever. And I think in the journey to find that, if that was my focus, I came up with everything else that fortunately they enjoyed while I enjoyed. And more than anything, it was the experience. It was to give them the experience of feeling special.
Yeah,
That's
here.
awesome. That's so true. I think to add to what Michelle said about looking at other places to look for inspiration. I think when I saw your story, I was like, man, I want to get to know this guy. But you know what I'm saying? I think the process of like getting the feeling of inspiration, like looking at other places. And in addition to that, I don't necessarily, I guess, try to or ask for or work with our clients mood board or stuff like that. But I love getting to know them. I love knowing their background and where they come from and what kind of photos they want to get in the end of the day. I think that's pretty important. But at the same time, I present to them what I have in my portfolio, and they just give them an expectation of what they're gonna get if they end up or move on working with me. But yeah, I think just getting the people that I work with is I think one of the most important thing. At least to get the job done right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
Madeline.
100%.
Oh,
Oh no,
Madeline.
I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Mick, I just want to reiterate. Did you know? This is just a did you know thing. I was the master of ceremony at Leo's wedding, Leo and Kat's wedding, back
Oh,
in
That's
2000.
really?
all right.
Wow.
That's all right. I was just trying to find the segue to say that.
That
Hey,
is one trivia. Okay, it's like, so
damn,
guys,
small world.
we're
Yes.
gonna have a raffle, and so we're gonna ask people, if they're listening, we're gonna ask questions. So listen to what all of our photographers are saying, right? Yeah, we're gonna ask like special questions later.
Oh man.
That is so awesome.
I'm
And
worried about these special questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we have a special activity also later just to make it more fun for our photographers. And speaking of fun, so I know like Madeline like has a lot of fun taking pictures of babies and toddlers and like little kids, right, Madeline? And
Yeah.
so I've seen your pictures, and how do you come up with all these creative ideas? And how do you? So one thing that I am kind of afraid about doing newborn photography is how do you make the babies leave?
Uh,
Right? I mean,
yeah.
that's like one of my fears.
I have
It's bedroom.
I had the 6 secrets, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
share that to you.
Melatonin.
So basically,
Benadryl.
I'm on the spot photographer. So what I do is I would just ask what colors they love, and then from there I'll work on concept prior to the photo shoot. Sometimes it's on the spot as well. Whatever I could see surrounding of the house. I only shoot on the clients' homes. I don't shoot on the studio. It's always at the client's home. So whatever I see, if I see the reflection from the reflections from the table, or if they have their wedding gowns, or what any valuable stuff that could bring to me. I have one client, they gear up with the fire costume. I mean, their fire gears, or the other client, all the college books, medical doctor books, lawyer books, stuff like that. So any problem I could incorporate with around the house. Is that what I do? And mostly the flowers. My specialty is incorporating flowers for the newborn girls.
Sick.
That is so awesome. Yeah. And so
Wow, that's nice.
Madeline, yeah, like so if you guys don't know, Madeline and I have gone to downtown, the flower district, to look for, flowers and plants and whatnot. So I know AJ and Aiyency have a different process, right? Like, cause you guys rent studios.
Yeah, we right now at the moment, we do rent studios. Sometimes we give a shoot at the client's home. It all depends on what the client wants. But we're actually in the process of
getting our own in-home studio.
yes.
That is so awesome. And so, how do you get your clients to feel comfortable? Because boudoir is a little bit sensitive, right? Like, so how do you make them feel at ease and like get into the rhythm of like, like doing like the photos once you're taking, you get into the habit or into the rhythm of, like posting or whatever. Like, what's your process?
I mean, well, as far as making them comfortable, I mean, there's a portion of of the photo shoot where you're actually in hair and makeup. And so we have a great hair and makeup artist. And during that time, she talks to them. I introduce myself as a photographer. And my wife, she, talks about the styling. So during that time, we kind of just like make buddy with them, make jokes and, just try to relate to them as much as possible. And then when it kind of gets to the photo shoot, we're kind of, when we interview them before the photo shoot, we kind of figure out what they want to show off.
Yeah. So since it's very personal and it can be in an intimate process, we ask them what they love most about their body and what's something that they don't appreciate or they hate. So basically, what they love the most, it's easy to work with, But it's the challenging part is making them see the beauty and what they're insecure about.
Yeah, that's when we have to get really creative with those kind of parts of their bodies, and that's where the magic comes in between,
That is so awesome, and that's something that has been like really top of mind, right? Like self-love and like being comfortable with yourself, right? And so that's something that you guys are at the forefront of. And I know, like, I heard a story that AJ actually does the poses, like a sample pose for your clients. Is that true?
Yeah. I do. I mean,
it's easier. So.
It's easier that way. Plus, it kind of breaks the ice with the client a little bit. It kind of gives them like, oh, this guy's a little weird or kind of like, crazy.
Hey, he can do it. You can do it too.
Yeah. And,
I'm not Aiyency.
No, because I gotta be the one doing it because I'm the one basically telling them what to do. So I'm not gonna tell them to do something I wouldn't do. So, and like with me getting in those poses, it's more funny to look at a guy getting in these weird poses than another female, so it helps.
For some reason, it works. Like they get more comfortable if they like do it,
It's kind of like drinking wine, right?
Yeah.
And what are the challenges that you faced? Like I know, like especially with boudoir, right? Like a lot of things can be like a little bit more challenging than portrait or family portrait photo shoot. So what are the kinds of challenges that you guys encountered?
I guess one of my biggest challenges is me being a male photographer in that field. A lot of women don't feel comfortable, taking their clothes off in front of another man besides their husband or boyfriend, and then snapping photos of them. So that's one of the big ones.
Or just basically just being just being sexy in front of the camera, because that's what they always think. Like, you gotta be sexy, you gotta be size 2, you gotta be flawless in doing a boudoir. And what they don't know is boudoir is for everybody, You doesn't have to be a certain body type because the main goal is for body positivity and self-love.
That's the kind of what we gotta kind of convince them to that it's for them, it's for everyone. That's one of the hardest things. And I think lastly, one of the hard things is it's harder for us to display our work because not everybody wants to have that kind of photos out there in the public, But with them showing us, like letting us display the photos, it helps encourage other women to do the same thing and help them like show that they can love themselves no matter what they look like.
That is so awesome. I mean, like, so for Madeline, what kind of challenges do you have since you go into a lot of homes and like during the pandemic, like were you allowed to like go in for long periods of time or, is there like a set like number of minutes that you have to be there or anything like that? Like, were there any restrictions?
There is a lot of restrictions. One of them is for the toddlers or 6 months up, I can't hold them, so I have to have the parent or the one of the relatives to guide me and like fixing all the details and stuff like that. For the newborn, is I have to do a COVID weekly test every weekly just to make sure that I'm okay, my family's okay, and my client's okay. And pretty much all those essentials like the mask, KN95. I had a client last week. She had me wear two masks, two KN95 masks for the 3 hour session. So that's one of the difficult part because it's hard to breathe with the two masks. So
Yeah.
that's that's a little bit of the challenging ones. But pretty much it's I'm trying to adopt because prior to the session they would say I think I'm not allowed to touch the baby, or it needs to be a little bit farther. Or I have one client, she had me set up the studio in the backyard because she wants it open air. So that's a little bit challenging as me as well because I'm used to the inside of the house, stuff like that. And one more, with the mask, it's hard for me to connect with the toddlers because if you want to make him small, stuff like that, wearing a mask, not able to see you're smiling or laughing, stuff like that, they can't. I can't. It's hard for me to connect. So that's the challenging part for me during the pandemic.
And I heard you you have a way of connecting to kids, right? Like toddlers.
Uh-huh.
Are you gonna give away that secret?
Yeah, I could. Feather duster. You know that colorful feather duster that we tickle or we clean the house? Just a feather duster. That's it. It's just you're just gonna pretend to tickle the baby. Oh, I'm going to tickle you, and then they're gonna laugh. Yeah, try it. It works.
Oh my god.
I get them divisorias. I think 50 pesos per one. So every twice a year I go there just to get the tickler or the feather duster.
That is so cool. So you guys, if ever you guys get to take pictures of kids, feather duster, go get yourselves one. And to Joe, like, did you have any challenges getting into those spaces that you take pictures at, like especially when you're taking pictures of concerts or like events?
Well, last year I didn't shoot anything because there's no concerts. But yeah, I mean, there's always like different things from security to actual concert goers. I mean, I've actually broken a camera because of somebody stage dove. My camera wasn't.
Did someone jump on it from stage or something?
Yeah, something like that. But
like a mosh pit.
Yeah. So I mean, I know it was gonna happen eventually, but the entire top of my camera came off. Kind of sucks.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god!
But hey, I made it work for the rest of the show. Anyways, but yeah, it's like there's that, and just like it is scary because like sometimes even like security, I saw a security guard like grab a photographer and like throw her down, like the fucking and, like I mean I wanted to fight the guy, but also the guy was like 10 times bigger. But yeah, no, it's just a bunch of stuff like that, and then and it's also if it comes to like concert photography, like lighting is not your friend. Like you have to work with any, and then these lighting. I mean, there's shows that have great lighting, depending on the venue or the band, and then there's also shows that have no lighting, so you have to use your flash, or like work with your flash, and that's kind of not. I don't know, not everyone likes that. I'm just gonna put it that way. Like, not everyone likes the flash.
That is so true.
But they get good photos, so they can't complain.
That is so awesome. And so I wanted to save this question for our, elopement or engagement or wedding photographers. Did you guys ever encounter a bridezilla?
Yes. Just kidding.
I've only had one of those, but worse than the bridezilla was the groomzilla.
Ooh.
Really? Oh my god.
Yep. I think there's something about, the female as the photographer, which has its own set of stories. But when you have a very technical groom who's super OCD and he's actually the one that planned the wedding, oh, he's worse
Oh
than
no.
the bridezilla. Yeah.
Was
He's
he
not,
asking you your settings?
seriously, if you brought the camera down from your eye, you'd get mad dog, like one of
Oh
those.
my god.
Yeah.
I hate him already.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in the
Bridezillas
cinema.
care about all the details. The groomzilla cares about the details and your technical skills and what you're
Ooh.
doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I'm never shooting a wedding in my life. That's you guys.
I've never had a bridezilla so far. But did you guys get any like out of this world like requests from the groom or the bride?
I wouldn't say it was a really crazy issue, but before the wedding, everything's, we have a timeline, everything we're sticking to, right? But of course, weddings are never always sometimes as it is. So it's just a wedding in Temecula at a winery, and we're supposed to do the first look, right? And with the bride and groom, and then at the last minute, the bride's father wanted to do the first look out of nowhere, and the groom was super mad. Like he didn't want that to happen, and he didn't want to do the first look at all anymore. And so I had to kind of like talk to him and kind of, that was really difficult. Like try to make him more comfortable. Like, you know what, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You're still gonna have your first look. But that was just, everybody's mood just dropped. That was a tough one.
Adrian? Oh.
Yeah, mute
There you
him.
go.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it was not a bridezilla, but a very extraordinary thing that happened last December of 2017, I would say. So we went to Big Bear with my couple, and then so we saw this huge field, and then we tried to do some engagement shoot there. And little that we know, there's a mud. So a few weeks before it rained, and so it was a mud. And then so when we were walking, I was like, hey, let's not go there because I feel like we all gonna get dirty. But then they still like, oh, let's go there. So essentially what happened was they fell into the mud. So literally the mud was over on their chest area already. I was like, what am I gonna do now? So what I did was I tried to dress. So what I did was we already had a few shots, so I had to put my camera away, and I went to help them. I was able to get them up. Both of them are already up, and I was slowly sinking down.
Oh,
thinking. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then across from like about 100 yards, probably there were like construction workers working on a house. I was like, oh, help, help, help. And then they came and they gave me a rope. So, and then they were able to pull me up. And then the neighbor of that house that they were working on came out and they said, oh, what happened? I was like, oh, we got caught in the mud and all that. She said like, oh, come in, we'll dry you up, we'll wash your clothes. And then she let us shoot at their house. So I was wearing a robe with nothing inside and shooting their engagement session.
Oh, there you go.
That's amazing.
Like, yeah, I was like a story that
Yo, that is amazing.
You get an air horn for that.
Oh yeah, so that was fun, but it was
That's
scary.
insane.
I thought I was like, that's it, I'm not gonna see my family anymore.
That was cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn.
Leo, do you have any like memorable experiences?
Oh man, there's so many. Do we want a good experience or a bad experience?
Both.
Well, that's a really good experience. I just love it when everything comes together wedding, right? Because I think when you're shooting a wedding, you always expect that something's going wrong because that's just the nature of the job, you know. And so you always just kind of like on top of my toes, just trying to follow the timeline. So like then and then, sunset time, and if the couple suit me and I have great sunset, then all is good.
Sick.
Yeah. Oh, bad
Mike?
story.
Oh, bad story. Okay.
Just
All
kidding.
right.
And Mike, have
Oh,
any stories to share?
memorable ones. I had a not similar situation as Adrian, but I was doing a family session in Murrieta at a park, and it was early in the morning, and there was 3 kids, right? And it had kind of rained the day before, and I kind of knew where the spots were that was wet. And then I told them, we're gonna move to this location that's like 20 yards away. And then the younger kid, probably about 10 or 12, he was kind of lagging. So and then we looked back, and I was like, why is it taking so long? His foot was like knee deep in a mud pit, and he couldn't tell if it was a mud pit. It was just so. So I had to put him in the back to cover his leg for the family session. So. Yeah, not good.
You just Photoshop a leg in there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Speaking of Photoshop, I had this bride who, after the engagement session, she asked me to replace her fiance's belt because she didn't like the belt. So I had to look for the exact belt to put it on that picture.
That could go under Bridezilla right there.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
she's like, I want a
that.
Gucci belt.
Oh yeah.
Not that Target brand.
That's a sign.
Yeah.
And so what's the least thing that you like about what you do? Anybody?
Well, for me, it's being able to travel because of work, and they get to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, and even when I travel, of course, you get to meet the people in that country, in that area. So I think that's the best part of it, and of course, being able to try different types of food, yeah.
Yeah.
And being able to eat cold sandwiches with apple and juice box as a vendor meal.
That's
Dry, cold sandwiches.
Or, of course, a huge open bar, right? Or probably get you to order any food you want if you're doing a Chinese wedding, right? So you could order lobster, duck, or whatever. Yeah. So there's always.
I'm so hungry now.
I know, like all this.
Like I haven't eaten dinner.
Same here. Oh my gosh. So anyone else, like, what's your favorite part about what you do?
I get to see I get to see all the concerts I can.
Yeah, you do.
I know. I want your job.
No, actually, my favorite part is like when, like no BS. But my favorite part is like when especially with my kind of photography, like events and concerts, is like when somebody messages me or emails me or comments on like something where it's like, yo, like I missed that show, but I felt like I was there, and like makes like what I do like totally worth it. Yeah, especially like it's like, even if there's like kids, like some kids were like, oh, I was at the show, I was way back, but seeing your photos, it's like, man, like just brought the experience more in there. So it's like, yeah, that's what's up.
That is so cool.
I got lucky with all the traveling. Nice Prince sent me everywhere. They sent me to Europe. They sent me across the US to places I never would have gone on my own. And even in places that are typical, like when I got sent to New York or San Francisco or Vegas, I mean, these are typical. They're not unusual. The people that live there took me to places that I wouldn't have gone, right? Not the tourist spots, or they
That's
brought me to
cool.
places that were special to them. And that was awesome. That perspective was awesome.
I think
Yeah.
for us,
It's
Did
the
you get the sandwich
relationship
box?
that we built. Yeah. So honestly, the best part is always when we deliver the pictures and the clients are like
they start crying.
starts crying, like they couldn't
Yo.
believe that
Yeah.
that's them, you know. like, like they see their bodies differently. So.
Damn, you're gonna make me cry.
Oh. Are you gonna turn it into a song? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's real though. That's real.
So Mike or Leo or Madeline?
Oh, mine's when I get to see the children grow older and older and older, as taller than me now. Like I have a newborn 13 years ago. Until now, they're my clients still. So that's very
Yeah.
fortunate for me to see them every year to grow and communicate with them year around. So I get to see them during holiday sessions where they book for their holiday portraits. That's very fortunate for me to choose me year by year by year and year as they grow older. One of a lot of them also is from the marriage proposal to an engagement to a bridal shower, baby shower, pregnancy. It's like every milestone they choose me as a photographer, and that's my happiness is to grow old with them.
Nice.
That is so awesome. So they become your lifelong clients, right?
Yeah, for 13 years, they're taller than me now. Teenagers.
That's awesome.
I think for me, one of my favorite things in what we do is that, by getting to know all these couples, getting to know the dynamics and how they work with each other, and I think some of those things, the good things that we kind of like hear from them, my wife and I, we kind of apply them in ourselves, in our relationship. I think, so it's almost like a marriage counseling in some way, but just having people who believe in you, I think it's a good thing, especially if you're doing something that's not very common, especially in our culture. Like my mom would always tell me, get a job, get a regular job, so you don't have to worry about like paying bills and stuff. But having those recognition from people that you work for, or people who paid you to do the job, I think that's pretty cool.
That is so cool. Mike?
For me, it's really about the people I shoot and connecting with my clients. And I think a lot of them that I shoot are kind of like me. They always want to go somewhere crazy. They either want to hike or, do some crazy shoots. So, and I've met some really amazing people. And that's for me, that's just the way I am. I like connecting with people. And my recent client, we actually did a fitness shoot in the UFC gym, and I didn't even know. We hung out after the session, and she told me she was actually from Vietnam, and she actually escaped Vietnam by hopping on a boat for 6 days, and they weren't sure if they were going to actually land in Malaysia. Luckily, there was like another boat that helped them with gas. They had no water for 6 days. It was an amazing story. I mean, I could tell it for like an hour, but I don't want to the entire show. But I mean, absolutely amazing. Like the people we meet. I mean, it's just inspiring.
That is so awesome. And so, changing it up a bit, so going to the gear that you carry, what's your favorite lens or equipment to carry around with you?
24 to 70 all the way.
Damn.
24/7.
That's it. I mean, I love to keep it lightweight. I love to get around. I love to get close with people. So I feel like having a lot of equipment with me and around me kind of like makes it like a hindrance to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I have like one body, 24/7, some batteries in my pocket. That's it.
I'm gonna be
Well,
different.
I
11
carry my 55 1.8 Sony, and of course my Stella lights that I have to use because I'm an ambassador for them. So, but yeah, that's basically what I love to use.
I'll do 11-16. I like.
Jeez.
I love my super wide shots.
You need that
But
for
yeah,
concerts,
24.
though.
Yeah, but 24-70. I do have one. I love it too.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
versatile lens.
Yeah, it's like one of
15
those
minutes.
lenses you just buy it and you're good.
Mm.
I mean, I also have a 50 millimeter that I've had for like 15 years, so I just keep it.
No, it's amazing. So my wife, she loves using 35 and 50, so she has those prime lenses. And I
I
have
did
the
shoot. I
24/70.
shot. I don't know if you guys are familiar with FYF. It's kind of like Coachella, but a little smaller.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
I shot FYF for the first time with a 35 only, and everyone, like all these like concert photographers, were just like mad dogging me so hard. Or like with all their 7200s, and you're like, yo, I'm just shooting this entire festival with a 35.
It's
Still
amazing.
came out. I look back at it like during pandemic because there's no concerts. I re-edited some of them, and I was like, dude, this is not bad at all. Yeah,
That's so awesome.
yeah. I was raised. What's up?
Oh, I was
Oh,
just gonna add, it makes your work more cohesive too if you shoot
mhm.
everything at
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
lens. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just raised in with like my cousin told me like when he showed me his cameras, like literally like buy one lens and like master that. You don't have to have like 1,000 lenses. Would be nice, but
Sure. It's a lot of money.
no, a lot of money, exactly.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Anyone else?
I shoot 2470 for the indoor, and then for the outdoors 70 to 200, and I use
Yeah.
dolly cam modified all the way for the events. It can touch for the body when you're only doing just the camera. So dolly cam modified.
Nice.
So
I guess I'll be the
cool.
crazy one. I'm the one that wears the belt with 3 lenses on it, plus one on my camera. So I'm like swapping out all day long.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. I used to do
Yo,
the same way.
no.
Yeah.
I did the double holster once.
Yeah.
Those kill my shoulders, man.
It
Wrap it around
is.
your waist. It's so much easier.
Yeah, I did that with running all around in the festival. Hated my life.
That's why I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't do it at all.
So Mike or AJ?
For me, I have to say again, it's just because it was one of my very first lenses I bought professionally. So it was a Canon 50 mm 1.2, and so
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
that was the only lens I had for a while. So I just kind of used it. I mean, it's really great for weddings, low light, So, but I'm kind of in the same line as Michelle. Like, I like to be efficient. So I usually have the hold fast moneymaker, and then I just shoot them back and forth constantly. So yeah.
So
And for us, we usually shoot with a 50 millimeter on the inside. I mean, it makes for great portraits in any situation. And then if we do anything outdoors, it's 70-200 for me for sure. 70 to 200.
The photos.
Yo, everyone got that good lens. Love it.
That is so awesome. So going back to like being Filipinos and Filipino-Americans, what do you think will make Filipinos support fellow Filipino-Americans?
In general?
Like in general, yes, because like with Philam slowly making a mark in various industries, what do you think should consumers do to continue that movement? Since there's a lot of need for representation. Like every panel that we've had in the last month, like the same thing came out, like Filipinos don't support fellow Filipinos, or Filipino Americans don't support fellow Filipino Americans, and we see that in like different areas, right? And so we're trying to change that, and like put Filipino Americans on the map, right? And one of the ideas that came out from those conversations is supporting one another. So what do you think Filipino Americans should do?
Oh, I think one of the things I've always done is always giving back, supporting other entrepreneurs. Like I mean, I've already met AJ. We kind of connected last weekend. Actually, second shot for Madeline. She's amazing photographer. So I think just connecting with other business like-minded people, especially Filipino Americans. I mean, we just gotta lift each other up, and help each other. That's the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah. I
So,
only
go ahead.
hire Filipino photographers as my associates. So if I can't find any Filipino associates, I'm not gonna get you. It's only Filipino, that's it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
same
it's
here.
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, go
collaboration
ahead.
over competition, like
Yeah,
lift each other's up.
yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Like
Yeah.
I think like people shouldn't look at each other as competition, exactly, like as competition, because like a song, it's like it's photography and like the creative world is so, I don't know, it's almost the same that it's so hard to pick out, like, okay, this is this and that. But yeah, we shouldn't just be a hater and just be down to gas each other up, even if we're in the same field.
Yeah, I think still I mean, I think it's already embedded in us about we try to support other communities versus our own, just because of how we were raised back in the Philippines. That when we're in the Philippines, we're like, oh, USA is better than anything made in the Philippines, diba?
Mhm.
So I think the way we were brought by our ancestors is still predominantly the mindset of the people. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like looking at the panel right now, right? So you have Michelle, me, Leo, and Mike. We're four wedding photographers, right? And each of us has different style, of photographing a client or photographing a wedding or an engagement session. And so, I think before the Pinoys that are looking for a certain, wedding vendor should go into like, oh, let's check out the work of, Leo, Michelle, Mike, Adrian, or some other wedding photographers in the group, right? Than, going elsewhere, right? So I think that's having the, Socal group. I think that's a good way of connecting consumers or shoppers to, I mean, not shoppers, but clients to service people, right? So I think before they go elsewhere, they should look for Filipinos too, diba? I think,
Mhm.
and then the same thing. I mean, the food makers like yung sila Yami Taho Sorbetes and Shiloh's Cake and everything. When before we go and look for desserts or any type of food from somebody else, we'll try to look for people inside the community in a Socal Pinoy, diba? Yeah.
Actually, I think it's really easy for us if you're talking about photographing debut, right? There's no other photographer out there that can understand it the way we do because it's our culture. I mean, I've shot bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. I've shot quinceaneras, but I can't say that I've seen outside cultures shoot a debut. it's typical, I think, that we want to look for Filipinos for our own cultural events. And so it is good that we can refer to each other. Like if I can't make a day, I only have so many weekends free. And it's good to be able to refer that out to somebody that I know and trust that can, you know, embrace the culture and be embraced by it as well.
Not only that for the Socal, not only for Socal Filipino, also for photographers in the Philippines. Just for instance, I teach newborn photography in the Philippines, and pretty much most of the students there are also beginners, and some of them are from outside country like Saudi Arabia or Singapore. But these are all Filipino wanting to learn from you because you're the ones who already taught by mentors from here, and then it's just your turn to teach them back in the Philippines as well.
For sure. And I think having this community, like the so-called group, all this Filipino Facebook group that are just setting up recently, I think it's a good start. I wouldn't be here if without that too, and I met Meg because of that. I think just having that, just being this connection between us and other people, other creatives, and other Filipinos who are entrepreneurs, I think just helping each other out and, you know, offering our services and vice versa. Sometimes we can even pay with our talents and we don't have to, like, you know, actually like spend money. We can just actually collaborate.
Shoot for a cause, maybe.
Yeah, if you guys need a second shooter,
yeah,
I'm around.
I got you.
I'm around. Like,
Where were you
I'm
guys when I was trying
volunteering.
to figure out who to replace me in Nice Grit?
Even if you get free tickets.
I can be everyone's second
got you.
shooter. So what's the legacy that you want to leave behind with the kind of work that you do?
Ooh, damn.
Man.
I feel like we already do. Every time Mother's Day comes up or somebody passes away, those are sad things, but the photographs that we took that they cherish, that's our legacy. We captured that moment. We happened to be there. It was our version of that story, and it impacts them so much. Like, I've made so many friends over the years because I met them, they embraced me, we're still family.
That's cool.
For sure.
No, that's real. That's real. 100%.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I second that for sure.
At every weddings that we do, you know, me and my second shooter, we always try to get the pictures of, you know, the older people, right? The reason for that is because, you know, I mean, through the fact that they're going to use it, right, in the future. They need to have a picture for the future. So our goal is always get a good portrait of somebody at the wedding, you know, no matter who they are. But mostly we try to get, you know, prioritize more, you know, the older people, because for some reason, you know, the pictures that we take of them, they're the ones that they use for their celebration of life and any other things that they do in the future. And of course, now that we are in the digital age, I always promote prints like this, right? Because ultimately, these prints are for the future. The kids that we're gonna have, the bride and grooms that are gonna have kids, they're gonna look at these pictures and they're gonna appreciate how much, you know, their dad and their mom have gone through in their relationship, right? And they get inspired to become them because they see pictures like this of their parents, right? Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that I can say why I am doing what I'm doing as a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I think the other thing you have to appreciate at weddings is people gather together that don't always have the opportunity to gather together. And it's those moments that you just have to capture for them and document. Even more than the formal after the wedding photo, you know, that post ceremony, which I love but hate, but love but need, but don't really like. I'd rather get them outside of there, you know, like at the dance floor. If you can get the people that actually look like, oh my God, I miss you, I haven't seen you in forever, like that group, and get those genuine moments, those ones are way, way more cherished and way, way more authentic. And take the time for that.
Yeah, I did shoot my best friend's wedding just cause, and
Yeah.
I gave him the photos and he was like, dude, like these are so sick. 'Cause it's like it just makes it feel like the dance floor looks like a concert, and I was like, yo, that's what I do.
It's your style.
So it's like I got this like super wide shot of like from the top, and it's like just people dancing, and I'm like, I mean, that's what I do. That's like instead of sweaty random people, it's people we kind of know.
Exactly.
That is so awesome. So, before we go into our surprise activity,
Oh no.
what's next for you? Right?
Well, if concerts happen again, that's next for me. But for now, it's kind of crazy because of COVID and the pandemic and the lockdown. I ventured into like a lot of like content making for brands and other companies. So I did a lot of like product photos, and like like Christmas. I ventured into like that whole family portrait stuff. It's fun. It was cool. But I took a lot of pictures of food last year, which is kind of crazy because I lost a lot of weight. But no, it's fun. Yeah, food photography. Whoever does it out there, man, y'all are saints.
It can get pretty tedious.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's like, how tempting is that you're looking at bomb ass food in front of you?
Exactly.
You're just like, I want a piece real quick. Like you're taking pictures of show mine. Like, yo, can it just be 5 pieces instead of 6?
Food photography is harder because you gotta style it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They have a stylist for food.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to look vibrant and
yeah,
like
it's crazy.
food pictures, they're not the real deal. I'm just kidding. They don't
Right?
look that they have some
plastic.
kind of like glaze on top
Glue.
of whatever, or like something. It's not edible, right?
yeah.
Anyone else like?
I did Photoshop shallots one time because we forgot to put them.
Oh
It's
my
kind of
god!
crazy. It was the wildest thing I've ever done. I'm like, yo, I photoshopped so many things in my life, but forgetting green onions on top and shallots. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
That is so cool. And so someone was asking like $1 million question. Canon versus Nikon versus Sony. What's your preference?
Sony all the way.
That looks like Nikon.
Canon.
Sony all
I'm
the
in the middle of
way.
selling my Canon for Sony.
None of us are sponsored by anyone. Right?
You gotta come over to the dark side, Michelle. You gotta come over to the dark side.
I'm making my way over.
Dude, I feel like someone's gonna say in the comments below like iPhone, and I'm like,
Oh my lord! Don't say that.
Oh, guys, just to if you want to learn a lot of from iPhone photography for like if you're just beginning to do iPhone photography, there's this Instagram channel called Born on Creative.
Oh, just Pi Jerza.
Yeah, Pi. He just blew up during the pandemic. Like he has about 2 million followers now on TikTok. And
that's crazy.
So,
You can actually do a lot with the iPhone. I've actually during my hikes sometimes I'll do like really low shots and turn your phone around right so the lens is at the bottom and you get the foreground as the grass and then the sunset.
That's
and then
sick.
Lightroom is free, so you just edit on your phone and then I'm back hiking again. So.
Yeah. I can't take my DSLR while I bike, so iPhone, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, I can. I just don't want to risk it, I don't want to fall down and break my bone and break my camera.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you guys ready for our activity?
I guess. Yeah, let's go.
Man.
Are we taking our own photos here? Or what?
Arvin, are you ready?
All
Are
right.
you out there? Oh, there you go.
Ooh, this is a cool photo. That's not even. Oh, that's not a picture. It's
Oh, that's the. Isn't that the statue of?
it's like New York or something.
Is this the
Or
screen,
DC?
Arvin? Like, where are we going?
Yeah, that's just the title. So this is from National Geographic, 10 unforgettable images from
So we're gonna do a
2020.
live
Oh, it is a
critique
picture.
of his Nat Geo.
Oh my
Damn, that's
Oh my
crazy though.
Oh
Why you gotta
no.
do this?
Oh man.
Just
Okay, you guys ready for the
Oh,
first
man.
picture? Okay.
All right, can you mute me for this?
same.
I'm gonna cover
Same.
my face for this.
Yeah, cut me out.
Okay. Ready? Okay, I'm just gonna scroll down. It's
like going to art class.
there. We go.
Oh wow.
That's sick.
Holy
Can-
smoke.
Can
Yo,
you
can-
do
Yes.
F11 on your browser so it
Sure.
can be
Yeah, let's see that whole thing.
Full screen.
yeah
One.
F11.
That's our
There you
first
go.
critique.
Wow.
There you go.
All right, that's good enough.
That's crazy.
That's really cool.
You can't even do that.
Just
You can't
watch
even
out.
do that anymore.
I wonder how many
Watch
shots
out,
he
man.
did for a composite.
You also like yes.
Damn, I wonder if like, yeah, that's insane.
What's the vantage point of that one?
How do you even critique this thing? It's so
You
awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think the
This
sky
one's
is real
nice,
though.
This reminds me of the scene from Forrest Gump,
yeah,
Yeah.
right? When Forrest Gump said Jenny.
it's
Right.
crazy because it's like I've been to this place and it's like it's so hard to like. I mean, like just seeing this place, like just seeing this picture, it's like he probably was on top of like a building,
A statue?
yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like I've been to this place and it's like like that from this angle, it's not that like there's not much like space. Ah, wow.
What's
that's
really trippy is I was just there a few months ago on a weekend and it was empty.
yeah.
There was maybe 2 bodies.
Right.
No, I was
Wow.
like
So
when I
trippy.
went there, it took me like 3 hours to even just get to the place. It's traffic sucks. That's crazy.
No critique for this. I'm sorry. It looks really good. Next.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Whoever
Okay.
shot this, amazing. Okay, yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I'm a
Wow.
sucker for black and white photography, so
Right. Yeah. I mean, black and white works really well in this photo, definitely.
yeah, no, 100%.
I love this candid photo. I mean, this is just real. This
Yeah.
This is a really good photo.
Yeah.
Next.
So pretty. The emotion is
I don't
real.
want to say anything bad about this photo.
Talk about the emotion here. The emotion.
For me, I was
Obviously,
like
it's
looking
sad,
at the line on the wall.
Mhm.
I don't know why my attention was going there. You know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is got your attention.
It's
but-
almost right
Yeah.
dead center. Yeah.
Right,
Really close
yeah.
to center. It kind of. I mean, I feel like if if the two ladies were just positioned like, like a few centimeters to the left. I don't know, like, or
Yeah.
maybe take out the line.
I do like that it's not super like the whites aren't super popping because
Mhm.
I'm pretty
I
sure
would-
they're definitely wearing white.
Yeah, it's
I would
like
also
it's not a
probably
hypey.
Mhm.
delete the horizontal line and put a radial filter so they could be
Like
kind
more
of
focused.
more focused on them, right?
Yeah, I see it.
I
For
think
sure.
that the journalism calls for leaving it the way it is.
Yeah.
So I
That's
appreciate
true.
that it's
Yeah.
black and white, right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
fact that it's black and white removes all the colors, so you're only focusing on the emotion, and your eye is just drawn to that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
almost like.
But if we want to be
this
nitpicky, yeah, take the little line on the right out.
Yeah. It's like that dot in the corner, take it out.
Yeah.
For sure. But
Yeah.
these lines work so well in these photos though because it breaks up the image in so many different spaces. And the box on the left side is basically what frames them. So I think it's a really well composed photo.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
I have no right to say anything about
I
things
know,
that made in
same.
Nat Geo.
We're just
Yeah,
trying
man.
to find
I'm just
something.
Yeah.
I'm just
Something,
waiting
you know.
for someone to message me like, what did you say?
What did you say
Yeah.
about my picture?
Like,
Give us,
what about that line in the middle?
give us some shitty part.
Okay, let's move. Let's move. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous. Like, this is making me nervous. Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this
Oh my
photo.
gosh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
this photo is great.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Like, I
Yeah.
saw this photo on Twitter, and I was like, damn, this gave me mad feels.
Yeah.
Well,
Especially because I haven't seen my grandma in like a year. So
this is what people were doing during the COVID. Was I don't know if you saw like some of the grandparents wearing like a full bag on their body just to see
yeah,
grandkids. I mean, it was insane.
yeah. This is
good.
It's
I
yeah.
mean,
This is
These
good.
are
Yeah.
defining
Yeah.
moments
This is
of
really good.
2020,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you were to
Yeah.
jot down.
Yep.
You just gotta be at the right time.
I mean, this website
Yeah.
is the top 10
Yeah.
photos.
Yeah.
Next.
I love how the
So yeah,
I love how the
next.
hands are around her body.
Next.
I'm so. Oh shit!
Remember the
Oh,
fires
wow.
in California?
Was
California?
this is this California?
Those California
Probably.
fires.
Yes.
Just,
I thought it was Australia, but it looks sick.
Sierra Madre.
Actually, let's
Oh.
scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Yeah,
Oh, it is.
firefighters across California battle massive
Oh.
fires.
Okay.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I wanted to drive out there, but also stupid.
You guys had to shoot a wedding while the fires were closing down the hotel we were going to.
Damn.
It took the bride 7 hours to get from where she was to where I was.
Wow. Where was
Damn.
this?
Yeah. Frick. I don't even remember anymore. All of last year was a blur, right? But
Yeah.
it was during one of those crazy fires.
Yo, did you guys see that what was that explosion in Belarus or something, man? And
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
It was caught by the wedding
Yeah.
photographer. It was like a wedding like a few miles out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
the
was
ship that had
like the fireworks place.
fertilizer
Oh, yeah,
storage
something like
Yeah.
that.
and exploded. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The Nice Print Philippine team had a bunch of weddings when Mount Pinatubo was erupting, and that was their backdrop.
That's crazy. That's hard and crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, this hardcore.
Yeah, that goes. I mean, like I was married. Yo, Mount Pinatubo, what's up?
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
This is
That's
cool.
awesome.
This is cool.
It's all expression, and you saw it through the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like if you look at it, it's like the focus is in the eyes too. So it's like
Yeah.
The eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he
That's
was
the
using a
cool thing.
Sony camera.
looks like it.
How can you tell it's a Sony? How can you tell it's a Sony?
Oh, because it's fire.
Oh, because it's
That's
tack sharp on the eyes, you know. You have an eye autofocus.
why.
Right?
Oh, that's not fair.
That's crazy.
That's pretty well.
That was good. That was good. That was funny.
Okay, next up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
Pandemic weddings.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. It's whatever. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Okay, next.
It is what it is.
Oh, this is fuck, I just saw this. Scroll down.
This is nice. I like how they framed her.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a portrait.
100th anniversary of women's
Yeah, I
suffrage
feel
in
like
the
it's
United
framed and
States.
behind the scenes all at once.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. This is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Well exposed. Cool. Next.
Wow.
So fuck.
Empty. The
Oh.
emptiness. Are
I
they
was
trying to
trying to figure
capture
out
the
where is
emptiness?
I thought this was the border. I'm like, what?
Oh, is this like a schoolyard?
I think it's just a freeway.
Yeah,
So
it's
I-
a freeway.
Yeah.
Overpass.
So
That's in
so
between.
when
What
we
does it say underneath? What is it?
Let's see.
Board in isolation.
Oh, at the airport.
The international
Oh, the
airport.
oh, it's Indonesia.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is crazy.
So it's crazy because like the first day of lockdown last year, I snuck out because remember when we had curfew? Like I snuck out and took a picture of the 110 freeway completely empty. It was kind of
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
Then
Yeah,
I went home.
totally.
Then I went home because I didn't want a ticket. So
Yeah, I don't understand about the curfew.
yeah, it was like for like 3 days. It was kind of weird. It's like you have to be home by 6. I'm like, all right, cool.
Whoa, loved it.
Wow, look
Oh
at that.
Wow.
yeah, that's amazing.
This is a
That's
great
a
photo.
beautiful picture.
That's Nat Geo right there.
That's a Canon lens
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
the quintessential National Geographic.
Yeah,
This one
that's
would
It
be
almost
shot on a
looks like
Nikon.
yeah. I feel like I think Nat Geo
This
has
won't be on a
like
Canon.
no Nat Geo has
No,
like a
it's a
Nikon
Canon
like
lens.
thing. I feel like
I mean,
Nat
the,
Geo has Nikon like
The colors is Canon.
the colors is Nikon, like all the way.
the
Like
dynamic
how?
range.
Yeah,
is-
right.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's just gonna hate on Canons. Let's
You know what?
I know.
Whatever
It's okay.
camera it is, it's edited in Photoshop. So
Yeah, that's actually Lightroom
That's so
preset.
true.
Or Lightroom.
Like,
It's a preset actually.
yeah.
There's actually just one cow or bison or whatever that is.
Your cow.
Is that like a wildebeest or something?
Oh, it's in Australia. Wait, it's not in Australia. Oh, it's in
Serengeti.
Oh,
it's in Africa.
Serengeti.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
All right.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Oh,
it.
that.
Okay,
That's
last
it.
wala na. Okay.
That's it.
all right.
Okay,
Keep
so
playing.
those people who are still watching us, we do have a raffle. Yay! So hashtag raffle if you guys want to join. So we're gonna ask questions, right? So we'll have our raffle sponsors. Some of them, some of our guests have graciously offered to raffle off their portrait sessions. So the first one is a 30-minute engagement or boudoir session from Adrian Ong.
Yo, I'm trying to win
All
this.
right.
Yeah, the
As long as you can
boudoir
toss
one,
like
right?
this, I'll
So it has to
do your
be
picture, Joe.
Yes.
usable by May 2021, and you get 5 color-corrected photos from Let's Make a Memory with Adrian Ong. So Adrian, can you ask our audience a question that they can answer? And the person who answers the question correctly is the winner.
Is it based on our conversation?
Yeah, or anything like like an easy one, yung madali lang.
Oh,
Yeah, or like whatever you said earlier, or like let's say for example, what's your favorite camera? What brand
It's
or
Sony.
what
Oh,
lens?
Sony.
Give it a Joe.
Joe really
Oh,
wants
yeah.
a boudoir.
I know. Oh yeah, let's do it, Joe.
I need Tinder photos.
Tinder
I'm
photos.
just kidding.
Question. Oh geez.
An easy one.
An easy one. Okay. Oh,
Last
who
stop.
comment? Huh? I know it got stuck. Let me see. All right. So probably
I got one for you, Adrian.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Michelle.
In this digital era, what does Adrian still believe in you should do with your photos?
Oh man, can I answer this? Just kidding. Because I know.
You should lean to one side, Adrian. The other side.
The answer is he got stuck in the mud.
Oh my goodness. I thought that I
Yeah,
was gonna be.
what's the question? Can you repeat that question again for everybody?
Go ahead,
someone
Michelle.
got it.
You said it better than I would say it.
In this digital era, what does Adrian believe you should do with your photos?
I think a couple people got it.
It's so crazy because I know the answer and I can't do it.
I know. I feel like I need to duke it out with you, Joe. I want that spot.
Same. Come on. Yo, I'm gonna just imagine
So-
me having it there.
So did someone actually answered print? Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah. So
that is correct.
Asia, Asia and Jaden, that's actually Johanna Kempsky. Congratulations. You win one which one is that one? One engagement or boudoir session with 5 color corrected photos usable by May 2021 from Adrian Ong. So please get in touch with Adrian Ong. It has to be used by May 2021. Congratulations. And our next one is 1 hour portrait session from Mike Federis. So
Dude, I want
Mike,
this too.
yeah, I actually want all of
1
them.
hour because you need 30 minutes to hike. So hopefully you guys are. You gotta stay a little bit.
So
I will
do you have
pass on
any
this
do you have
one.
any location in mind?
I
Just
do,
in
actually.
case.
Yeah, Inspiration Point in Altadena.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've been there.
Yeah,
Where is that?
it's like 10 miles.
I gotta
up
look
there.
that one up. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh
my
man.
god.
It's kind of sick. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
so
lie.
what's your question?
I guess we can go earlier in the conversation. What branch of military was I in?
God damn.
Oh, I know
I
that
Oh
one.
yeah,
know.
I know that one. Oh my gosh, I got
know
that
that
from
one.
the
All right,
very
Mike, we're gonna
beginning.
hike.
Okay. Oh.
So
Alright.
our audience, so what branch of the military was Mike in? Yeah, so that's the question. So there's a 10-second delay. So answers are counted, right? Like yeah, so there you go. We have someone actually answered it, Abigail
Oh,
Castillo.
perfect.
Marines, right?
Yep.
You were in the USMC, Devil Dog.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Congratulations, Abigail Castillo.
Yay,
You won a
Abby!
hiking trip
Yay,
You
Abby!
want a hiking trip
to Mount Wilson.
Gonna go
Mount
camping.
Wilson, Mount
Hey, you
Baldy.
gotta take her to the
You
farthest
get 1 hour,
place you could get.
1
Take it to
hour
Mount
portrait
Baldy.
session.
Yeah.
So I'm
Take her
sure
to the
Abigail,
farthest.
you got the right person because Abigail will be down for a hiking session.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Hiking
We're gonna
session.
San Gorgonio. It's the tallest peak in Socal.
Oh, damn.
Oh my god. Are you
11,000
ready for
feet.
that, Abby?
Oh my god. Bring a flowy red dress.
Over 20
Oh
miles.
yeah. And
Yep.
so the third raffle prize is a 25-minute family portrait at Cerritos and must be taken this year, except November, December, from Madeline Arenas.
Yo, there's a Jollibee in
Yeah,
Cerritos. Let's
yeah.
go.
Yeah, 605 to South
Oh
Street.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's your question?
What's my secret weapon in making children smile?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
That's
man.
cool. What's Madeline's secret weapon in making children smile?
It's not
called-
candy.
It's called
Oh, I
it's called
forgot the
Chicken
word.
Joy.
Chicken Joy.
It's called Chicken Joy.
With gravy. You don't forget.
There you go. So
gravy.
Vincent J. Rojas answered it. It's feathers or
Oh
no?
man.
Is it feathers or
What kind of
Wait,
feathers?
feathers?
So
No,
Or
I
do
think
you
Anne
want- do you
Pasquale
want-
answered it.
yeah, Anne Pascual Santos. Congratulations! It's a feather duster.
There you go.
Congratulations, Anne Pascual. And so our last one. Oh, okay, we're actually done. So our last one is a promo. So for those of you guys who are watching, if you mention Global Exchange 21 to Leo Evidente of the Gathering season, you get 10% promo for 2021 bookings.
damn.
So Leo, can you tell us what kind of bookings those are, like portrait sessions those are?
For sure.
Is
Yeah,
it-
it's for both portraits, family, wedding, all kinds of sessions.
Yo.
Yeah, so let me show it to you guys again. So 10% promo for 2021 bookings. Mention Global Exchange 21 to Leo Evidente.
Hey Leo,
when
Global
you
Exchange
book your
21.
bookings.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Bet.
10%, get a
10%.
10% off. So there you go, everybody. Yeah, and so
Oh, can I-
that's
can I add
our
a thing?
show for this evening. And
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Mick.
Thanks,
You
Thank you
are
Mick.
so
so
much, guys.
welcome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you
It
so
was
much,
great.
Mick, for inviting
Yeah,
us.
that was really fun, right? Like something different. So thank you so much, everybody, for being part of our show. It's been a fun evening. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Yeah. You guys,
Everyone likes that air horn.
who
Yeah.
doesn't?
Oh, love it.
That's Joe's favorite.
The best thing next to the air fryer.
It used to be like what was like the like next best thing before the air fryer.
The Theragun.
The the Instapot, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Now it's
Instapot.
And
it's
the
the air
Theragun.
fryer. Yeah. So everybody, to our guests, thank you so much for being with us and for being on our show, and to all of our viewers out there, thank you so much. And to our sponsors, Miss Olivia Kidoko of Oskin Care and Med Spa and Formula M Creatives Inc., and all of our raffle sponsors, our guest panelists, thank you, and we'll see you
cheese,
all.
everyone.
Hey, that's so cool.
This is
And we'll
actually
see
what
you
I
all
shoot with.
tomorrow. Really?
No.
and tomorrow, don't forget, 8:00 we have the Pinay Rockers. So we're celebrating the last Friday of Women's History Month with our Pinay Rockers. So we have Belle Fujimura, we have Rodnelyn Sese, who's from San Diego, and our headliner is no other than Melody Del Mundo of Sugar Hiccup. So if you remember, if you were in the Philippines back in the 90s,
Yeah,
if you were in
I'm
the
tuning
Philippines
in.
back in the 90s, in the heydays of Philippine bands in the 90s, I was already here in the US, but her album, Oracle, actually connected me to the Philippines along with Eraserhead's albums and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All
But she will
right.
be our headliner tomorrow at our show, Jam Sessions, at 8:00. Don't forget. Yeah, so it's gonna be really exciting, and I already requested my favorite song.
That's
But yeah, so Melody's gonna be our headliner tomorrow. So yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, and
Guys, nice to meet you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone's so cool.
Thank you so much for tuning
Bye.
in.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
this is like the Filipino goodbye, right? We're gonna
Yeah,
be here for like the next 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Saying goodbye to everybody.
This is why weddings
Right?
don't end.
I
Weddings
know,
don't
right?
end,
Yeah.
or like debuts never end, right?
It's like 2:00. The wedding like ended like 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Well, it ends when the food's gone.
That is
Right?
true.
Yeah.
But everyone took it home to go, so you know.
Plastic bag.
Plastic
Oh
bag.
yeah, the Ziploc.
Yeah. Funny thing, they got it before the wedding started.
That's
They brought Tupperwares.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everybody. Good night.
Night,
Good
guys.
night.
Bye.
Olivia Cuido is an official skincare partner of Miss USA.